Hello, hello, Pastor Kathleen. Let me see. Are you in the room?
Hi, dear. I won't be on screen. I'm kind of multitasking.
You are so fine. Hello, hello, Pastor Kathleen. Hold on one second. I'm trying to get my live up
See, are
and
you in
going.
the room? Hi, dear. I won't be on screen. I'm kind of.
Okay, let's see how we did that. All right. Can you see my screen, Pastor Kathleen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Just wanted to make sure you can see. Let's see.
Multitasking.
Hold on. You are so fine. Hello, hello, Pastor Kathleen. Hold on one second. I'm trying to get my live up
See, are
and
you in
going.
the room?
Let me see.
Dear, I won't be on screen. I'm kind of.
Let's see how we did that. All right. I'm just clicking away here. Can you see my screen, Pastor Kathleen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Just wanted to make sure you can see. Okay. Close her out. And I think we are officially ready to get started. Okay. And okay. So we are here and we are ready to get started. So, like I said, drop in what city you're joining us from and drop the industry that you work in. Drop that in the chat. All right. So today, people are coming on in the room. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Today is about leading with clarity. And today I just want to show top tier leaders how to crush their goals with their fantastic and amazing teams, how to delegate like a pro, and how to build a strong team and execute without standing on their necks. Can you imagine how that feels when someone is kind of standing over your shoulder? You're like, can you get back? I know what I'm doing. You've given me the task, so allow me to do the task, right? Drop a one if you know how that feels. And drop a two in the chat if you absolutely don't like that. So today we are going to focus on telling you more about DISC. And I'm going to tell you later on what DISC stands for and give you a whole breakdown. But I want you to understand that it's not a personality test, but it is a legit strategic behavior assessment tool that you can use for you as an individual and for your team or organization that you may be working with. Also, the goal is to help you get clarity on what may be secretly tripping you up as a leader. And lastly, just to give you a proven way to again lead without micromanaging. How does that sound to you? Okay, let's go. We're going to jump right in. And my big bold promise today is that you will walk away from this training knowing exactly how to lead in a way that gets the results that you are looking for, how to build trust and keep your team moving and also keep yourself moving without chasing anyone or anything. All right, so Who am I? For those of you who may not know who I am Dr. Nina Copeland. I am an Army veteran. I am a DIS certified consultant with the Maxwell Leadership Team. And I have been coaching for over 20 plus years, focused on leadership development. I am an Amazon best-selling author, international speaker, and the summit producer for the I Am Bold Women's Summit. I have helped leaders at every level to go from chaos to clarity. And guess what? I can help you do the same. So let's talk about why most leaders struggle. Why do you think most leaders struggle? Drop some of those some of those comments in the chat. Like, why do you think leaders struggle? And I am trying to find the chat button so I can see. There we go. Okay, so sometimes leaders struggle because they really don't know their people. They may be new supervisors, and you have this group of people, but you don't know how they are wired, right? You're delegating, you're doing all the leadership things that you have been taught along the way, but who knows how these individuals are wired, what make them tick, what make them go into overdrive and work harder, what makes them smile, what makes them upset. If a leader doesn't know that level of information, how can a leader be successful in garnering the team, trying to get the team together? Because the leader could be doing something in a way that could be detrimental or could be triggering. And the leadership trend that I'm seeing today is that, oh, you're going to do what I say because that's what I said. And I'm the leader, I'm the superior, and you're going to do as I say. And guess what? That is not working in 2026. So that's why leaders are struggling because they don't know how their people are wired and they don't know how to connect with them. And guess what? If you're the leader, everything starts with you. If you are the leader, everything starts with you. And I like to say leadership begins with the top leader. So if you're the supervisor, it starts with you. And once you become self-aware, you can stop leading on autopilot. And then you can start making a difference. So let's talk about how you can make a difference. Number one, you become self-aware for yourself and you become self-aware of your surroundings. When you understand, and as I said, when you are understanding of how your team is wired, you can make intelligent, informed decision on properly placing your people. If you don't know that, you're not going to have people in the right place. And then you're going to be on the hamster wheel again and again, wondering why you can't move the task to the level at which you want to accomplish it. So let's talk about some places where leaders show up. Because I think
Dr. Nina,
yes,
the chat is not allowing us to type.
no.
Yeah. Um, I had a colleague of mine, LaShawn Green, also text me.
Oh, okay, hold on. Thank you so much for that. Let's see. Get the chat going. Because I was like, wait, why no one posting in the chat? Hold on. Hold on. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna go in and I'm gonna get it fixed. But in the meantime, while I am doing that, if you had a moment to just share anything, that would be great. Or I can keep talking while we're doing that. Um, uh-oh. Let's see here. Come on. Okay, so I'm gonna keep talking about where do leaders show up? And let's think um beyond the workplace. Okay, try the group chat now. You should be able to. All right, did you see receive a message that says test in the group chat? And then in the chat?
No, ma'am.
No, oh my gosh, I thought I just clicked on it. Okay. Let's talk about nonprofits. Are there leaders in nonprofits? Leaders. Mhm.
Yes, they are.
Yes. And then what about at home? Like people don't realize like at home you you are a leader. Don't you think you're a leader? Whether it's your son, daughter, your niece or nephew, um, even parents, sometimes you become leaders over them depending on stages of life and things of that nature. So I want you all to think about when you think of leadership, just don't think about your job in particular, but everything that you do. And that's why it says that, you impact every person around you in some type of way, right? And as a mother for boys, the boys are watching how I manage the household every day. They're watching me. All right, we're going to try this one more time. Can you see if you can post in the chat again? Because I thought I changed. Participants can chat with meeting group in anyone time. Okay, so can you post in the chat now?
No, I'm unable to.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
No,
well,
ma'am.
okay, well, we are going to. I thought I was being high speed and had it already. Let's see this way. Hmm.
No worries.
No worries, we're gonna keep on. If y'all can chat, if you want to jump in anyway, please feel free. Um, Okay, so back to like where you show up as a leader. So we talked about at your job, you show up as a leader. If you have a nonprofit, you show up as a leader. And what about church, right? You show up as a leader. And I'm gonna just jump on it just a little bit and say what I see as a leadership development coach is that in church, sometimes I see those who may be over a small entity, right? Let's say we're gonna go with the old school word of the Ursha board, right? We're just gonna use that. I was a Ursha, by the way. Um, but that person is a leader. Whether you know that person is not the pastor or the co-pastor, but they are a leader, and that leader still needs to be developed. And most time, what I like to say is how you make a difference. What about not just church, but what about if your leader can't teach you how to be a leader? What do you do? Do you go out and get the support that you need so that you can manage your small group? Or do you continue to sit there and wait on somebody to develop you? And what I see in churches is that they wait on someone above them to tell them how to lead. They can tell you the organization policies, but you as a leader, there should be something inside of you that you want to develop yourself so that you can be better for the people who are around you. All right.
Yes, Dr. Nina, I totally agree with that, especially in the church world. So that's something definitely that is a great impact, and definitely the personal development within team leads and within our ministry specifically is very much needed. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I see that. And also on the flip side of that, what I see is that some leaders are like, some leaders are like, oh, you don't need to talk to anyone else to get any support. I'm going to support you. But what about if you're not the person, again, to bridge that gap or to develop me? If they don't have the skills themselves, if you're not self-aware to know how your people wire, because one size approach and one size leadership does not fit all. It just doesn't
Absolutely.
anymore. And that's just an old mindset that I'm seeing that it's causing tension, to be real. It's really causing tension. So when people start saying, "Oh, these generations," that's exactly what they're saying. My one size approach is not working anymore, and I don't know how to handle it. So that's basically what is being communicated silently. Um, when you have the different generations. So I want to talk about what is DISC. It is a behavior and communication tools that help people understand how they are wired. So I keep saying like how they are wired, meaning like your makeup and sometimes why you do the things that you do. Um, so it's a behavior communication tool that help you learn smarter and faster with less stress. So when you know like, oh, I need control, or no, I am the person in the back, but I still, in order for me to feel good about myself, I need to be able to do X, Y, and Z. And once I do X, Y, and Z, then I feel good. Right. So you can know that. And so these different quadrants is showing you like someone is outgoing, someone is people oriented, someone is reserved, someone is task oriented. And I just want to ask you a question just by looking at the outside quadrants of outgoing and people oriented, reserved, and task oriented. Do you need all four of these quadrants in your organization? Not only in your organization, let's say if you're an entrepreneur on your team, do you need these individuals? And then think
I
about,
think
go ahead.
I was going to say, I would, to answer your question, I would say it would be, I would say yes. It would be good to have all four of these on in your organization or in your business.
Yes, yes. And I like to think of it, for me, I've been thinking lately in my business, but also like on my personal coaching team. You have your mentors and you have your coaches and you have, your support system. And I need these people to be there. I need someone who's going to be very task oriented and say, hey, you said you was going to do the live. Did you do it, right? I need someone to say, hey, you've worked enough. Let's go out to eat or have dinner, right? Like you need all these different components. And so for me, when I think of disc, I think of the game with the blocks Jenga, right? Like when you put all the blocks in Jenga, it stands tall, it's firm, it's solid. It's not going anywhere, correct? And then the moment you start taking those blocks out because you think you don't need something, what happens? Before you know, you hear this big sounding noise, right? And all the blocks have collapsed. And then that's when somebody's like, oh, wait, what's that? Oh, somebody was playing a game. And that's just how it is in leadership. Things are happening, things are being pulled out, and we're not aware. We're not paying attention until something collapses. So what shapes our personality? What are some of the things you think that shapes our personality? I'll give you one.
Upbringing,
Say that again.
your upbringing.
Oh, absolutely. Your environment, that environment that you were brought up in, because you've watched people over the years and they've trying to groom you into different things. And so that shapes a huge part of your personality. What about your heredity from birth, like just the distinct patterns of behaviors that are there? What about role models? So each one of these things shapes our personality. Now, if you're a leader, can you go back and change someone's environment? No, you cannot change their environment. And typically, what you see is their narrative. When you start listening to how people talk and how their perspective on things, you're like, oh, wow, okay. They didn't just come up with it today. Some of these things have been developed since birth. So, as a leader, I think it's true to say that you can't change some things about a person. You just can't change it. But can you give them advice? Can you give them a different way to see something or give them a different perspective to ponder on? Those are the things that we can do as leaders. You can't change them because we can't change and we can't change ourselves. Like, how many of you have tried to change yourself and every day you're like, I'm working real hard. I'm working real hard to change that thing, right? And you just do it because it's in you. It's ingrained in you. And so we really try to work on it because we are aware. So remember what shapes our personality. So here's the next question. Those people that we talked about, remember the quadrant and we talked about reserve and task oriented. So are the right people in your boat? All aspects. For you, do you have the right coach? Do you have the support that you need? Do you have right friends in this season that you need? Right? At your church, do you have the right people around you who are going to give you what you need? On your job, are you connected to the right people? In your organization, are you connected to the right people? Because we know that connection is important. And how important is communication? What happened when there's no communication?
Everything falls at the wayside.
Everything falls at the wayside. Nothing happened until there is some effective communication. Period. We see success with effective communication. When there's distorted communication, um, that is really what causes chaos. When the message is being distorted and we don't really know what to do and we're not synchronized, we're not together, that contributes to chaos. And I don't know about you, but I don't want chaos in my life. All right. So now we're going to talk about the different quadrants. So the D is a person who, when you think of the word bold, you think of a decisive person, a person who takes action. You may say they're very direct. They like results. This person, they thrive on control. They make quick decisions. They focus on the results. Sometimes we need these people, right? But there's also a bad side to these people as well. So if they're coming off as decisive and direct, they don't want to hear all the chitter chatter. They want to hear clear, concise. What is the problem? Keep the extra. So how does that come off to a person? Clear, concise, keep the extra. We'll talk about that later. Can that come across as being demeaning? It can.
Yes, it can.
It can.
Yes.
It can. Right? But if you know, and sometimes, and I see this a lot, people would say, but I didn't mean it that way because they really didn't mean it that way. But because they are wired, they can't hear the chatter because it frustrates them, right? And they can't make a decision with all the chatter. So give them exactly what they need and not anything else, and they will push the project along. So, and as I go through this, I'm gonna tell you the good and the bad about each quadrant. All right. So who do you think could be a good D? Is that like your um yeah, and not all supervisors are D. So just because you're a leader or you in a high position, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are a D type person. But you can always find the D because they have something to say. That's what I say about the D. The person who always has something to say. All right. Let's talk about the the I. The I is a person who persuade others by talking. They are spontaneous, they are friendly, and often in the spotlight. Do you know any of those spotlight rangers? Because I know a few of them. But they are persuasive. Where do a persuasive person show up? Like, think of a job where a persuasive person is needed. Definitely in sales. If you're in sales, I would want the person who is persuasive, who is friendly, because they can come across, they can build a connection with the person. The D is not going to build a connection because they don't have time to build a connection. The I has time to do that. Let's talk about the S. They are team oriented and they are great at follow through. Their loyalty, they have a high level of acceptance. What you think about this person? And I like this person, right? They're team oriented, meaning they are not about themselves. They don't come off as a D may be like, oh, I'm all about me and what I say, which could be the downfall of a D. But what I say go because I said it, and that's what it is. But this person is more a step back, team oriented, understanding how to read the room. And everybody doesn't know how to read the room, but this person understands how to read the room, how to look at what people need, how to get their buy-in, which is important, right? You want buy-in. You want buy-in in your home. I need buy-in to get these kids to do what I need them to do without me yelling at them. That could be one example. Or in your organization, you're trying to give them advice, or if you're on a board of directors, how do you get to build a respectful culture? So this is a person who is a steady person. They steady. And C's are conscientious. They are compliant. Don't we need our compliant people? They are on time, they are analytical, and not at all spontaneous. These are your planners. They take pride in the accuracy. Now, I know me personally, I need this person on my team. The planner, the analytical. That's the thing I don't want to do. I like to stay in my D style and say, okay, this is what I need. This is how I want it to look. And I need somebody else to make sure that I am compliant. Okay.
Yes, I need that on my team too.
I definitely need this on my team. The D I got, I can drive, I can give you the mission, the vision, I can drive it. I can do that, no problem. And I could be a planner, but and I could be analytical, but my strong suit is a D. But I do need that person on my team. When it comes to entrepreneurship now, I need that person on my team who can keep in compliance and SOPs and all those little things that can build up and have an entrepreneur feeling overwhelmed. That's where I need that C to come in and support me. So that's what I want you all to think about, like all these quadrants. If you have everything together, your boat can sail fine. But if you don't have some of these pieces, again, like I said, that game of Jenga, some of these pieces are missing, you're not strong and steady. You're going to collapse at some point. And that collapse looks like you're overwhelmed. And now your nervous system is high, and now you're upset, and maybe you're irritable, and now it's causing relationship problems because you're not doing what that one word we talked about earlier, that one word that is causing a problem. The communication is causing a problem. All right. So let's talk about choosing a meeting leader. Like which one of these are the leaders that you need at this point? Whether it's on your job, which one do you think you can connect with? The one that says, listen to my plan, the one that says, listen to my ideas, listen to the facts, listen to each other. Which one connects with you and your personality style?
Mine would be listen to my ideas.
Yes.
I think at this point it would be short and productive, you know.
Yeah, sometimes people don't want to hear it. They just short and
I
productive.
don't
What is it we need to do?
yeah, I don't mind hearing all of the things, but it's just that I think in this time period and some of the things that are going on in my business and different things, it's like, okay, I need a solution, I need productivity, and I need everybody to be working and really listening to each other, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. And I could totally resonate with that. Like you just need the plan. You don't need the extra at the moment. Not that it doesn't come, you just don't need it at the moment. And when the team get together and everything, the boat again is sailing, then we can come up with more ideas and the facts and we can listen to each other. And I like to say, like there are different stages, like you said, like there are different stages and phases in life where different things matter. For me right now, like I would say in at home, it's more of let me listen to each other. In my business, I'm more of listen to the plan. I need to get to where it is I'm trying to go, right? And in my organizations, I'm more of listen to my ideas. So I show up differently in different places. That makes sense to y'all?
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So here is the cost of not starting, not understanding about DISC and understanding that there is a leadership tool out there that can help you to be successful and cut through the noise. Like especially if you have a team of people and I see this all the time where they've hired someone for the position. Um, and of course, on their resume, they may be for the position. Then when they get the job, it's like, you really not for the position. Based on how they are wired, they may not be for the position. Have you all seen that in your career at some point where somebody was like, they were real good on paper, but when they got in the position, they were not for the position? I
Yes.
have, yeah, I have seen that a couple of times, right? And then also when you don't know how your people are wired, how can you put them in the right position? Because we all, people are going to sell themselves, they're going to shoot their shot, they're going to do all of that. But if you're not a cognizant leader who knows how to read behaviors and knows how to use tools such as DISC, then guess what? You're constantly on the hamster wheel trying to fix things, and you got to watch them and you got to see how they do this. And now you have to waste a lot of time just to want to learn them, right? And also to accomplish some of the things that you want to accomplish. And then outside of that, during that time, what's happening? You're losing the trust. You're not building a team. And as I mentioned, there are delays. So that, because, oh, and like I said at the end of the slide there, if nothing changes, nothing changes. If the leader doesn't change, what will ever change in the organization? If the leader can't lead themselves, how can they lead their team? They only lead their teams by doing as I say. But again, I don't know about you all, but from what I see, do as I say, it's just not a good principle in 2026. And people will do what you say at the expense of, depending on their generation. Some people are true and loyal to staying to their jobs, and they'll do what you say just to take care of their homes and to get their paycheck. But these younger people are not staying for that reason because they don't have to. They can go put this thing and put this little thing in their face with a ring light, and guess what? They will be making all the money they need to make. So they don't they don't have to do some of the things that we did. So is all this making sense, right? Of using a behavior and communication tool and how it can make your life better.
Yes.
Awesome. So if this made you feel uncomfortable, then it's good. Because this is where growth starts. Now we'll pause right there and say, did I say anything that made you say like, ouch, like, oh, that is me. Yeah, I can see myself in that quadrant. I'm that person. What letter you think describes who you are?
I don't know. I think I'm an I.
Okay.
Even though I have some characteristics of a D and a S, I think.
Yes. And in the assessment, it'll show you that. But sometimes there's one that is more like penetrating, and then there are others where it's like you have features of I and C. So you can be a DI or a DS. So that is a thing. And I think I'm definitely a high D. Um, and I try to pretend not to be, but my report shows that I'm a high D and I could be a C.
Yeah, Dr. Nina, mine is D and S.
Yes. Yes. I think I shared that with you. I was like, oh, she is a D. She is a D.
And
But in a
because we
sweet way,
work on a
like,
team together, I could see those for her. DNS, yeah, I could see those.
hmm. And, and I don't feel like her D is that she can, I mean, articulate herself in a way to where I don't feel like a D would come off as grueling. And that's what I think I admire the most. Like my D is more grueling. I would probably make someone, and that's probably just my army background, but I would demean. Not intentionally, but the way I would speak on it is how it would come off. So I admire that directness, but still a little love in between. I love that. All right. So do I have permission to help you find success? I know the answer is yes. So we talked about what is your style. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to go that quick. You're gifted, you're talented, and we have to use our gifts and our talents because we know our gifts and talents does what? It makes room. It makes room for us. But we also have to know how we are wired and we have to know how we are perceived by others and also have to know the makeup of others around us so that we can have an impact. All right. So what can you do? You can keep doing it the hard way and staying on the hamster wheel and not fixing yourself or fixing your team. And we're not going to get to where we want to be as quick as we would like to. Sometimes we get there, but we take the long, winding road, and we don't need to take the long, winding road. We need to take the road less traveled so we can get there, right? And so this is for those who may be supervisors or managers, or those who are, I know I have solo entrepreneurs here, but are just entrepreneurs in general, right? At different levels. You can be starting, you still need the right people on your team. Because what I know from starting, there are a lot of people willing to sell you almost everything. But that doesn't mean that they are the right person for you in your business. Even if you're looking to scale your business, you need the right people on your team and you need the right people to give you advice. If you're in the workplace, if you have a team, then you need to know, like, how can I help my team become better? You help your team become better by making sure the right person is in the right position. If you're in church, you need the right people in the right position. Another thing I know, another thing I see is people be in positions based on title and money. That doesn't mean that they are the right person for that position. And that's why a DISC behavioral assessment works because it shows you things that people can't tell you or will not tell you. I'm not going to go and say, hey, I'm direct and I will be, and I could be perceived as demeaning. I'm not going to come tell you that. But if my leader gave me an assessment and said, hey, I looked over your assessment, I see that you excel in doing these things, and I think you would be beneficial um, for this position. And then also for promotion, you can leave this position and it will help you go to the next position. That's the level of conversation that I would want to have if I was in the workplace. What do y'all think about that? Just having that level of conversation.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yes, indeed.
Because what I see is that people will stay in a position, it may be unfulfilling to them, but what do they do and what leverage do they have? They can't say like, hey, I took an assessment and it showed like this is this, so this is how and why, I do these things right here. But I think, and it could be one or two things. Like I think staying in this position would be good for me, or I think me going to another position would be better for me as well. And if a leader is smart and they're trying to build something, they will be open. Like if someone came to me, I would be open to say, hey, yeah, I think I can do this right here better for the team. I would want to have that level of productive conversation. So here's the blueprint, a full disc assessment and a one-on-one session where we break down your leadership style. We talk about the environments that would be best for you, your strengths, and how to apply it to um, your team, your business, and for your own personal development. And so that is 249. And so this is what it looks like. You'll get a full assessment. It's a 30-page report. It's a detailed overview of your behavior style and communication tendencies. And sometimes some things we know, but there are some blind spots, some things that we may not be thinking about it. You hear people in conversations and they'll say something and they say, oh, I didn't know I was doing that to you. Oh, I didn't know I made you feel that way. So the report does give you some of the things that you may not be thinking about or may not be aware of. And also, the one thing I do like about this report is that it tells you the environment that you would excel in. And this is good for those who may be in a transition and may not know, I'm transitioning. So what do I do now? Or what do I do with myself? This report will help them, at least give them some things to ponder and think about. And then it tells you your effective way of communicating. Excuse me. And that could be for with your team. Like if you're doing a training or something, like this is the way you communicate with those individuals. Again, because the one size approach does not fit all. So it tells us that. And then also it tells you the power disc just goes very in depth on your strength in leadership. So I want to pause there and I just want to hear from you all. What are some things that you think this report could do? Just for you as a person or just for someone you may know or for your team? I just want to hear some examples.
I think it could bring clarity to different aspects of the team and the placement of the individuals.
Yes, most definitely. And then let's think about individually, like how can a report like this help a person individually? I think for me, when I took my report, I was like, oh, I do that. I could be seen as mean or demeaning. That was kind of hard to accept because when people would say that to me, I would be like, no, I just gave them the information. I wasn't mean. I was just clear on what I said. So then what I had to do was go back and think about the way I was pontificating or giving the brief or the things that I would say. And it helped me to make those changes because they saw me as a micromanager in my high D. They saw me as a micromanager and I didn't want to be seen as a micromanager. Um, so it really helped me to pull myself back, humble myself, and be considerate of others. And that's sometimes hard to do. So lastly, what you can do is discover your DISC profile. And again, like I said, you can use this for yourself if you just want to know, well, how do I come off? How am I perceived by others? Because again, if you're the leader, you're in charge, you're responsible. If you don't know yourself, how can you know everyone else? And if you can't help yourself, how do you help someone else? And now that you have seen all these different variants, now you will be able to identify and say, okay, I see you, I see you, see. And we can be respectful of how that person is wired and what they contribute to the team. So with your DISC profile, as I said, is a 30-page report. You get a one-on-one assessment. You don't have to go through the report by yourself. I give you a detailed breakdown, and at the end, we come up with your own personal development for you as an individual. So with that, that will conclude my briefing. Are there any questions or any takeaways that you all would like to share?
Dr. Nina, as I stated, thank you so much. I'm multitasking. I know you gave the price for $249 for individual,
Mhm.
and this can be offline because you do know how to reach me
Yes.
to share what the pricing would be on a group. And do you conduct groups?
Okay, I do. I
Okay.
do. Yep. And I can follow up with you offline.
Okay, that's
Okay,
fine.
okay.
Thank you, darling. I'm
Thank
gonna log
you.
off because I'm here at the church trying to manage something else.
I
Okay, but
got it.
appreciate you, my dear. Thanks,
Thank
Sean,
you
Elder
so
Sean.
much for joining on. Thank
Mhm.
you, ladies, so much. I really appreciate you.
Okay.
No problem at all. It was great information, and um, you did an excellent job. And I guess I'll talk with Pastor Moore because I think she's going to talk to you offline about some things.
Okay.
So from there, I look forward to meeting with you again soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Talk soon.
Okay, talk soon.
Bye bye.